Today, get ready to hear from Black Americans speaking on the latest fiasco with Nicki Minaj and talking about why Black Americans need to continue to delineate. Check it out.
I don't know what I want to say about Nicki Minaj, besides the fact that I hope we all learned a valuable lesson in 2025 with regards to tethers and their tether ways. We really have to stop allowing people who look like us to come into our spaces and use our culture, in this case hip hop, and then go out and speak for us on the political stage like they have anything to do with our best interest. They don't. Nicki Minaj been proved that she was not in the best interest of Black Americans. And because people liked her music, which I never understood why, because I was always thought Little Kim was right, they allowed her to run amok through the Black community. And I, for one, am not about it no more. I'm not about it with her. I'm not about it with Cardi B. I'm not about it with none of these people who are cosplaying as Black Americans. It's time for us to reclaim our culture. And in 2026, it's up for all these niggas, just like Cat Williams said. That's how I feel about it. The time has been passed. I know I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson after the Essence Fest. I know for some people it was, I should have been learned that lesson. But after Essence Fest, I was like, I'm done. I'm closing ranks. It's Black American all day. And put the foundational in front of it if you have to. Like, that's just where I'm at with it. Y'all see me. And Nicki is just another person in the long line of reasons why in 2025 is delineation and it's Black American all day. Because you got another person that we allowed into our space to embarrass us. And she's done. She's over. You know what I mean? Get her out of here. And while you're at it, kick all the tethers out. That's just how I feel about it.
And this is the reason why we say Black Americans only. Because they tether themselves to our community, bloodsuck our culture, benefit, profit, until they can't no more, until that money not coming in, until they can't save their house. Maybe the green card expiring too, who knows? But you get on stage with Erica Kirk and talk about Black women and how much you love Donald Trump, knowing full well what Turning Point USA and Donald Trump stands for when it comes to the Black community, but you do it anyway to save yourself. This is why we say Black Americans only. All the rest of that shit cut out.
Nicki Minaj, bring that ass here, girl. Bring that ass here, right? Because I already had the skinny and the drop on you. Ben had the skinny and the drop on you. And I don't miss no opportunity to flame your ass. I don't miss an opportunity. Because before Kim even said what she said on the Breakfast Club about, being careful and looking out for Nicki Minaj, I already had the skinny on you because I seen how you was trying to mimic and mock her. Her looks, her hair colors, her styles, the whole Barbie aesthetic. I already seen you for what you were. Thank God that I've been blessed with discernment. Maybe sometimes discernment not back in the day when I was young or whatever, because when you're in your own stuff, you can't see it. But being on the outside, I have a pretty good, register of what looks like what, whatever. And I never liked that girl. There was something in her. It's the same thing with Foxy. Love her as a lyricist. I'm not even a big Nicki Minaj fan as a lyricist, but Foxy Brown I am. But there's something in them that's arrogant and haughty an anti-woman, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, oh yeah, I see it in you. I've been seeing on you. But she had y'all food that Cardi B was the bad one because Cardi B said something about roaches. She wasn't saying it in a racial derogatory way. She was saying it like you the bottom of the barrel calling somebody a roach. That's what she was saying. She wasn't saying it to be racist or whatever. What has Cardi B ever said or done or allude to that would even give you any indication that she's racist? But because y'all jumped on this Nicki bandwagon of Black women and Cardi B ain't even Black, well, what makes her more Black than Cardi? Because if Cardi B is Dominican and Trinidadian, Caribbean island, both Caribbean islands, and then Nicki Minaj is from Trinidad, then what makes her more Black than Cardi? They're all Caribbean from the islands, correct? So then why would Cardi B was getting shade for that, but not Nicki Minaj? And who's the real person that came out here with her derogatory remarks about black women, as if black women are running around here worrying about white women? It seems like the white woman who was dubbed the word Karen, not a big fan of that or whatever, who has been dubbed the word Karens or whatever, seem that they have problem with black women. It seems like the world, okay, the society, especially America, has a big problem with black women. And then you get your ass on that Turning Point USA Widows Tour to say how black women, we shouldn't feel white women shouldn't feel in a certain way to black women, etc., whatever the nonsense that you said. I know what you said, whatever, but it's all stupid, and I don't even care to quote it correctly or whatever. Look it up to get her exact quote. You got on there acting like that white people and white women are the victims. Trump is handsome, but like I said, you align yourself with sexual predators. I see that about you. So Trump is handsome. There's a religious persecution on Christians. All the nonsense that you're doing to align yourself with white elitists in America, because you know your legacy is up, you know your time is up. I don't care how much money you made on your tour. But in real life, ain't nobody really effing with you. Your whole Young Money as a record staff, label, conglomerate, or whatever took L's. Little Wayne already took L's when he was sitting up there trying to act like he didn't know that racism existed because he was rich. Then you had Drake with his idiocy or whatever was going on here with Kendrick, who the hell sues in the middle of a battle rap. And now you have Nicki Minaj. I'm so glad. And we know that some of her cult, some of her unicorn spitting cult is going to follow her against their own interests, because the Republicans and especially conservative elitists like a Erica Kirk and that administration like a Trump do not like trans, do not like gay people. But you guys are going to go ahead and follow her to your own detriment, because that's what you do in a cult. You drink the Kool-Aid, and that's what you're going to do, right? But Nicki Minaj, and then to have Amber Rose align herself with Nicki as if you wasn't out here years ago or whatever with your slut walks trying to get people not to feel ashamed of being a slut. Now all of a sudden you're the face of conservatism and how things are supposed to go in America, because your time is up too. So you're a grifter, Nicki's a grifter, all y'all out here grifting. Erica done did a Freudian slip or whatever, and even saying that y'all grifters. And now Nicki Minaj or whatever, like I said, you want to be so anti-Beyonce, so anti-Cardi, so anti-Mega, whatever. Now you want to align yourself opposite of who they supported was Kamala. Much to your own legacy. You better make sure that they go all out for you and your legacy to uphold it and keep it. Because you are done on the community. I don't care how many Barbs you like. And I want to welcome Barbs over here. Because here's a simple thing. I'm not going to go back and forth for some unicorns. So if you want to come over here and you want to try to make valid points, I'll go ahead and allow it to happen. But if you come over here with your nonsense and your swatting and everything else or whatever, I'm going to call the law. No, I ain't going to call the law, because I really don't care what you guys have to say. But I think you better look deep within or whatever and realize that who you're following is not for you. She is a self-centered, haughty, arrogant woman, right, who wants attention. Because ain't no way in hell that she sat on there unless allegedly or whatever, she doing a couple of... listen, I'm not saying that she's addicted to anything, but that's the only way that this behavior can be excused. Only way her stupid statements that she went up there can be abused, can be explained. I'm sorry, because ain't no way in hell that there ain't no con and something in this or whatever. There has to be something in, for her. She can't even vote, telling y'all about your American politics. Meanwhile, she was born in Trinidad and doesn't have any voting privileges. Neither does her husband for his felonious acts or whatever, right? So I don't even know why you sitting up here all of a sudden she's the voice of politics. My grandson never lets me be great, but it's all good because I'm nearing the end. But like I said, I welcome all unicorns. Act like you have some sense. Oh, Nicki. I'm gonna call her McNicky because she's a McFool. She's a damn McFool. But y'all go ahead and y'all continue to boom, 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 baby.
Not gonna lie, being a Nicki Minaj fan right now feels like we on an episode of Survivor Island. Like, who's gonna make it to March 27, 2026? Because today just feels like we really being tested. Today, Nicki Minaj spoke at Turning Point USA, which is the now deceased Charlie Kirk's agency run by his wife, Erica Kirk. Yes, I was down with Nicki when she was speaking about Christianity being safe around the world, but today it does not feel like that's what this was about. Because I heard Nicki Minaj say that Donald Trump was charming and dashing or something like that and a role model for young men. And that ain't got nothing to do with Christ, because that's a lie. This man said he doesn't even think he's going to heaven. So how are we advocating for Christ with him when he ain't even trying to get home to him? Outside of that, Turning Point is a political agency, or they say they ain't political, but their political stance is that systemic racism really is not affecting Black Americans right now. They also don't believe in DEI or affirmative action. Honestly, Nicki, I love you. But the fact that out of respect, you don't even come to your fan base to talk about this issue. You just go and click up with these people. Now what I'm supposed to do? Choose being a Barb over being Black, a Black woman? Do you know how many of my sisters in Washington, D.C. are home because of this man coming in and ruining their whole careers that they worked for 20 years? This administration? And people saying that the fact that my grandparents couldn't get a home loan until the 70s, and white Americans could get home loans in the 20s and the 30s, that head start doesn't impact us today? I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of you Black Americans that come from immigrant communities never can understand what the real descendants of slavery have gone through. Y'all be so quick to ride and forgive people because you truly believe that the American dream is the American dream. Because you came here and your people made it. But your grandmothers weren't great in this country. And your grandfathers weren't also great. And you know your last name. And you weren't used. Your hair wasn't used to stuff mattresses and chairs.
One thing I can say about Nicki Minaj is that she sold so many records that it shouldn't be surprising that she sold out. Nicki Minaj is a hypocrite.
People are being kidnapped, people are being killed, brutalized, while they're in church, all because of their religion. And that should spark outrage in the great America. We are not going to be silenced by the bullies anymore, okay? Hear that. Receive that, bullies. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world.
Today, Nicki Minaj put up on that whole Turning Point USA thing with Erica Kirk, and she's just regurgitating whatever Massa wants her to say. She had a lot of All Lives Matter rhetoric and many opinions with no basis behind it. It felt very Kanye. It's just hypocritical to talk about people being taken and kidnapped while that's literally being encouraged by the people you're shucking and jiving for. Nicki Minaj said that she'll speak up for Christians no matter where they are in this world. But I feel like this topic is extremely relevant when it comes to Nicki Minaj because isn't Nicki Minaj an immigrant? She's not a U.S. citizen. You can look this up. Matter of fact, let me do it for you. Quick Google search I wrote, is Nicki Minaj a U.S. citizen? And AI overview says, no, Nicki Minaj is not a U.S. citizen. She is a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and moved to New York City as a child, remaining a non-citizen despite living and paying substantial taxes in U.S. for decades and has spoken publicly about her immigration status and experiences. Current status, it says she has stated she is not a U.S. citizen even after years of living in the country and paying millions in taxes, and has expressed a desire for citizenship or honorary citizenship. Why do I feel like she's playing the game to finally get citizenship? One thing I can say about Nicki Minaj is that she sold so many records that it shouldn't be surprising that she sold out.
Nicki Minaj's appearance on Erica Kirk's launch tour isn't really that surprising when you understand how rap music has been used to be weaponized against Black people since its divergence from hip-hop. So Nicki Minaj is really just following suit. Now, there is irony in Nicki Minaj being on Erica Kirk's launch tour, especially considering that Charlie Kirk very explicitly stated that Nicki Minaj was not a good role model and that for 18-year-old girls, there's also the reality that Nicki Minaj has some legal troubles. And as recently as January of 2025, and I'm not sure about her citizenship status, but Nicki is Trini. Nicki Minaj is from Trinidad and Tobago, so she is not even an American citizen. So I could see a variation of a conversation that was had with her where her citizenship and ability to stay and remain in the United States was threatened. There's also the possibility that, as we see with a lot of major mainstream artists, especially in hip-hop rap genres, that Nicki might not have the money that we think she does. She might be in debt currently. She might be broke and might have needed the money. She could have been leveraged for her citizenship or debts or any other thing that this administration and its supporters are willing to do to people to maintain and gain power. And there's also the possibility that she just decided to sell out. There's also a really interesting ironic twist in a tweet sent from Candace Owens showing a conversation between her and Charlie Kirk where Charlie is literally reciting quoting Nicki's verse on Monster in the text, stating that he's going to go run and get a great workout to Nicki and Monster. So applying a critical thinking lens, right? There's a lot of different ways to think about this. We don't really know what really happened. We don't know what happened behind closed doors. We don't know the deal that was made. We don't know threats that were made or promises. We have no idea. All we know is that we saw Nicki on stage with Erica Kirk. I also saw Nicki drop Assassin.
And you have amazing role models like the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president.
I also saw Nicki comment on how handsome Donald Trump is and J.D. Vance. So, like,
Dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
some of this feels like it could be coerced because I can't imagine Nicki Minaj sincerely wrote for herself in her speech about how handsome Donald Trump or J.D. Vance is. But, you know, you never know. And that's the beauty of it. You never know. But there's some interesting pieces there. But I'm not at all surprised. I mean, the current rap genre is literally selling out your people and your culture. So none of this is surprising. All these dots very closely connect as far as I'm concerned.
Like, she is this close to going to a rally. Like I said, she was going to pop out. Like, I didn't even think it was going to happen this fast. For her to pop out on stage with Erica Kirk. Listen, Erica Kirk is on her grief tour, press tour. Listen, I don't know what stage of grief that is. Where she's on this press run, she might as well just came out with the red hat on, okay? At this point, she is not trolling. She's not playing some kind of long game. This is who she truly is, okay? She has fully transition over to the other side. Like I said, her next pop out is going to be at a rally with that unhinged rooster wearing the red hat. Okay, listen, when I'm right, I'm right. Y'all just chosen not to see it at this point. She was literally on stage with Erica Kirk. Okay, that should tell you everything that you need to know. At this point, it's not a conspiracy. She's not playing some long game. She's not playing chess. She has gone over to the other side, okay? She is not coming back. She probably got a red hat in her pocketbook.
Then she was also asked what would be her message to young girls and women, etc., growing up. And this is what she had to say in response to that.
As Black women, we felt that we were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty. If we felt like that as Black women, why would we want to do that to other women? Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because I know my beauty. Do you understand?
Now, with that one, she really lost me. It's not like with the boys one where you could try to make it fit something else and maybe it was taken out of context. She lost me with this one because why would that be your message to women and then you're singling out Black women? Oh, as Black women, we didn't like when other people made us feel less than, so we shouldn't try to make someone else with blonde hair and blue eyes feel less than. We don't need them to downplay their beauty to make us feel beautiful. Nicki Minaj, what are you talking about? This is really giving a bunch of nothing because what world you live in where you see Black women making or wanting white women or women with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty. I've never seen no Black woman yet where she wants a white woman or whatever, a different race to downplay their beauty so they could feel beautiful. I haven't seen that. I have not seen anyone expecting, any Black woman expecting white people or other races to downplay their beauty for us to feel beautiful. Baby, we are beautiful Black queens and we don't need that. So I don't know where she's saying that at or why is that her message to young women or Black women. She lost me with that one. Y'all let me know about that one in the comments because that's new to me where Black women, we are making other women feel like they can't be proud of themselves and be beautiful and they can't boast and brag that make us feel less than. No, baby.
So nobody asked me about my opinion on Nicki Minaj linking up with the TPUSAs of the world, but I'm going to give my 2 cents, and if you're going to listen to this, I need you to listen to this without your emotional shifting and frustration, because I want you to understand that this is about power. This is about self-preservation. This is about self-navigation. This is not about morals. This is not about community. This is not about, this is not about none of that. And after deep study of for the last 16 months, and even though I've always been a student of power dynamics and all of that, and learning and looking at different cases and how people moved in a world that we feel, that the masses feel that it's corrupt, it's this, and men and women do this, and relationships and all this kind of stuff. What I want you to understand is Nicki Minaj is a case study on what it's like to actually master self, and then also self-preservation at its finest. Now, why am I saying that? Why is this? Because when you're talking about leadership, you're leading yourself. Because at first it used to be about leading all these people to whatever, when it's really now about leading the self. And when you look at this from a eagle eye point of view, you're going to realize a couple of things. Number one, the music industry and the Hollywood industry is fizzling out as we speak, and everybody knows this. Celebrities of old, from the 2000s, from the 90s, from the 80s, I mean, that was the last kind of span of high celebrity life. Now we are moving more into digital indoctrination, digital institutions, and digital programming, where most of the media that we are receiving is not only frequency based, is energetically based. So our identities are being questioned, our identities is being shifted. So power dynamics is really about winning, because it's already the haves against the have-nots. So there's no middle. So anybody that's riding in mediocrity in the middle, you are going to sink down automatically, because if you are not trying to win in 2026 going forward, you're going to find yourself sinking in the bottom anyway, because there's no such thing as the middle anymore. And then on top of that, the music industry, which is Nicki Minaj's wheelhouse, right? Her flagship business model, right? She is the brand. Nicki Minaj has always been the best lyricist, and when it comes down to her talent, right? And she can join whatever, the KK, whatever, and she's still the baddest lyricist. I mean, nobody can take that away from her, right? But you can argue back and forth with yourself about her decision to join an unexpected collaborative movement that is controversial at its finest, right? And that's because she's trying to win. She's about winning. And I'm really not even, I'm taking and redacting trying out, because Nicki's always been about winning. Think about what I'm saying. Am I saying that I agree with Nicki's decision? My position on what Nicki's doing is none of my business. But what I am saying to you is that in 2026, people are going to start moving in relation to what they feel is best for them, not what they feel is best for the community. And she don't owe anybody a explanation about what she's doing. Because she already, see, you're not up on game to the type of conversations that are really going on, and you don't know what kind of conversations Nicki is having with people. Because with the industry going the way that it's going, I mean, we're probably not going to see any human artists on a mass level. It's a lot of this is going to be AI driven. Creators, this is the creator economy. So Joe Schmo that live in the basement of his parents' house can win 7, 8, 9 Grammys from pumping out 17 albums in a weekend using AI. and heard all over the world. They know what's coming up the pipe. So people that are hanging up their chains and saying that they're done with Nicki, and Nicki ain't this and Nicki ain't that. And, you got to remember, this girl she's thinking about herself, and she's thinking about her baby. you got to think about that people are moving based on self-preservation. I mean, enter into the narrow gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction. I'm telling you, this is a trip.
Politics and celebrity entertainers have a long, documented history of working on the wrong side of history, often at the direct expense of the very people who made those entertainers wealthy and influential in the first place. This is not a new phenomenon. It did not start with social media, nor did it begin with modern political campaigns. It is a pattern that stretches back decades, particularly within Black America, where entertainers have repeatedly been used as tools to neutralize resistance, soften political agendas, and redirect the anger of the masses into safe, controlled channels. During the civil rights movement, politicians and power brokers quickly learned that entertainers could reach the people faster than policy ever could. Music, film, television, and celebrity charisma carried emotional weight. When activists spoke in terms of economics, land, self-determination, or global power structures, they were labeled radicals. But when celebrities spoke in vague language about love, unity, and hope, those messages were promoted, amplified, and rewarded. This created a dangerous split. Real organizers were targeted, while entertainers were elevated as the voice of the people despite having no accountability to the community. Many entertainers were not malicious. They were incentivized. Endorsements brought protection, funding, access, and career longevity. Those who stayed in line received record deals, movie roles, and media praise. Those who challenged power, who spoke about capitalism, imperialism, or systemic racial control, were blackballed, surveilled, or destroyed. This is how celebrity culture became a filtering system, selecting which voices the public was allowed to hear. Over the decades, this strategy evolved. Political endorsements became spectacles. Rallies turned into concerts. Elections were marketed like album releases. Celebrities were placed front and center to emotionally manipulate voters who were disconnected from policy but deeply connected to culture. The message was subtle but powerful. If your favorite entertainer supports this candidate, then opposing them feels like betraying your own people. This tactic has been especially effective in Black communities because entertainment has historically been one of the few industries where Black success was visible. Politicians exploited this by using familiar faces to legitimize policies that often did nothing to improve Black material conditions. No real wealth building, no land, no protection from displacement, no reparations, no structural change. Symbolism replaced substance. What is often missed in this discussion is that celebrities are not just being used politically, they are being used religiously and ideologically as well. Many entertainers are pushed to promote moral frameworks, identity politics, or spiritual movements that discourage collective action and reinforce obedience. Whether it's prosperity gospel narratives, hyper-individualism, or the idea that representation alone equals progress, these messages pacify people while power consolidates elsewhere. Another critical point is that entertainers are rarely educated in political history, economics, or global power structures. Yet they are treated as authorities. This creates a dangerous environment where emotional influence replaces informed leadership. When entertainers speak, they do so without risk. If policies fail, they suffer no consequences. But the people who follow them do. Today, more people are waking up. Social media, alternative media, and grassroots education have exposed how repetitive this cycle is. People are noticing that every election season brings the same celebrities, the same slogans, the same promises, and the same outcomes. They are asking why their conditions remain unchanged despite decades of loyalty and participation. There is also growing skepticism toward the idea that wealth equals wisdom. Fame no longer automatically translates into credibility. People are beginning to understand that access to power often requires compromise, and sometimes outright betrayal. Silence on key issues, selective activism, and sudden political enthusiasm during election years are being questioned like never before. History shows us that real change has never come from celebrity endorsement. It has always come from organized people with clear goals, economic strategies, and the courage to stand outside of approval systems. Celebrities can support movements, but when they replace movements, the people lose. And the more people understand that, the harder it becomes for this old trick to keep working. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.